Law firms, you're about to save hundreds of thousands of dollars in wasted advertising by watching this video. Is PPC advertising for law firms dead? Is it still a profitable strategy in 2025? Let's break down how we're using PPC to make our clients money and whether or not you should too. If you're new here, my name is Avery Lynch, founder of AdSurdly. We've spent over $70 million online successfully for our clients. And in today's video, we're going to break down what we've learned so you can be profitable with the dollars you spend with pay-per-click advertising. Pay-per-click marketing is the OG of internet marketing. For the law firms that can remember the early days, they speak of getting cases for a few $100, similar to the early days of local service ads. While competition through the 2010s increased, it didn't get massively saturated as it is today until the pandemic. The pandemic forced businesses to take their online digital efforts seriously. And the simplest place to start online has always been PPC, or pay-per-click advertising. So before we break down the strategy, what exactly is PPC advertising? The first 2 to 3 results when you search on search engines like Google are sponsored results. These are ads. Companies bidding to place their ad that looks identical to an organic result on top of everything else. While users at this point understand these are ads, and most know to scroll below them, a good ad will bring in high-quality traffic. On average, roughly 8% of search traffic is clicking on ads. Why? Well, these customers are looking for whatever you're providing. And if you know how to bid on the right keywords and phrases, you can get them to buy. You place the ad you created based off what the user searches for in the search engine. That is a lot different than just throwing up ads on paid social. And pay-per-click advertising gets its name from the fact that you only pay for the click. So, especially in the beginning, if you suck at making ads, you have a feedback loop to tell you that your ad sucks without wasting money.
This ad sucks.
It works like this. You identify the right keywords and phrases that people are searching for that you think your ad should go in front of. For PI lawyers, this is keywords like car accident lawyer near me. You set up which geographical areas you want to target. Write a headline and description and create a page for them to go to that they can provide their info or call you. And voila, you have a PPC ad. This can be a powerful lever to pull for your firm because clearly these people are searching for what you can help them with. And in the PI space especially, we know that those who are aware they need a lawyer tend to have more significant cases, which makes the most important part of PPC advertising the keyword. Yes, what your ad says, what page they land on, and what action you prompt them with to take control of the ad experience are critical to the success of your campaign. But campaigns live and die by their keywords. Why? Click on any ad, they're all fairly similar. Landing pages collect the same information, ads basically say the same thing, very little deviation. So the most important part at the end of the day isn't the ad itself. It's the keywords chosen, then the ad strategy utilized for those keywords. Each keyword you choose has a low bid and a high bid associated with it, because ultimately, PPC advertising is a perfect example of market economics, supply and demand. The supply is fixed. Only so many people can search for your keywords in any given month. And while search impressions for these keywords can rise or fall month over month, you can only bid after search results that happen, which means if demand is high for those keywords, prices skyrocket fast. This is ultimately what has happened as more PI firms tighten up their digital strategies and why through the pandemic, PPC advertising has gotten a bad rep. It's way too expensive. Everyone's saying it. So let's pull back the curtain on whether or not that's actually true. There are really 5 buckets to think about keywords in, and each bucket has their own strategies on how to make them work. The first bucket is the competitive keyword bucket. These keywords typically have the most amount of search impressions and also carry the higher bids. These are keywords like we spoke about earlier: personal injury attorney near me, truck accident lawyer, car accident lawyer, motorcycle accident lawyer. Competitive keywords are expensive, but what we do know is there are high quality cases to be mined from them. The problem is we need to be able to move in volume for this to be cost effective. If we know our cost per cases are going to be between 6 to 8 grand, then we need to make sure our average case value makes up for that. Sure, with a good intake team and a super sniper of an ads guy, you can get that cost per case lower, but at what volume? So if we're in a state with a population size bigger than a few million, getting 40 to 50% of search impression share on these keywords, meaning getting 40 to 50% of people who search for these keywords to see your ad, search impression share, is going to be very expensive. Monthly budgets in the $50,000 to $100,000 or more. So if we don't want to play that game, or market share is not an important factor in your marketing strategy, do not bid after these keywords. It is literally that simple. Is this bucket the easiest to turn on, and will volume come in? Yes, it's a light switch type marketing strategy, but we have to know the rules of that game to be able to play it for your firm to make money. Any marketer that tries to tell you otherwise just wants your money.
Show me the money!
There is no secret way to get keywords to cost less. If that were true, Google would make less money, and Google's not going to make less money. So if you don't have a solid intake team, a phenomenal feedback loop for attribution to track cost per cases, and a budget where this makes sense, stay in your lane. The second bucket is competitor keywords. You can target your competitor's brand name. There's a lot of false information out there that says if you trademark your name, no one else is allowed to bid on it. That is not true. While I'm not making a statement as to whether or not this is a strategy that you should employ and a right way to do advertising, you can do this. In fact, plenty of people are bidding after your firm's keywords, and these low bids and high bids are much, much cheaper than any competitive keyword. Here's the strategy with this keyword type. Am I ready to make another firm mad? More than any other vertical, the legal niche is frustrated with this strategy because of how expensive PPC has gotten. Does this firm work similar case types that I do? If they don't, though the traffic is cheaper, you're going to get leads for cases not in alignment with your firm. And again, you should ask yourself, am I ready to make this firm mad at me? This question should be asked again. With those questions, you can determine whether or not this keyword is a bucket that you want to get involved in. The last comment I'll make is there's a reason other firms are bidding on other firms' keywords. It's economical. If you do this, just be very careful to not use the other firm's name in your ad. That's against the rules, and there's been many a lawsuit on this because some green marketer didn't know what they were doing with all these automations. Now, before we move on, if you're starting to realize your current PPC strategy might be leaking money, do me a favor. Tap the like button. It helps to reach more law firm owners like you. And if you want me personally to review your PPC setup or ad account, go to www.AdSurdly.com and book a free call with me. We'll show you exactly what's working and what's not and how to fix it. All right, let's get to the next bucket, branded keywords. These are the keywords associated to your brand and name. They are the cheapest clicks you'll get from PPC. A few things to keep in mind with this bucket and why it's important. First, if you pay a marketing agency to run PPC campaigns, if you're mad every time you give them more money, they get worse results, it's because the only cases you're signing from them are these keywords. Often when we pull back the curtain in a firm's ad account, we see that their branded keywords, cost per leads, are in the $30 to $80 range. And those are bringing in cases and protecting the firm from having their cases sniped. So when a firm doubles their budget and their cost per cases skyrocket, it's because your marketing agency isn't educating you on the levers they have to pull to increase lead volume. And those lazy marketers are likely pushing you to increase your budget because they're the easiest campaigns to build. So if you have an agency that's managing your PPC, this is a good point in the video to pause and go ask them for a keyword cost per lead report. Now, it's frustrating you have to pay for this customer twice with these branded keywords. But for those firms running traditional media, you want to be making sure that you're spending enough money to hit 80 to 90% of search impression share. Meaning ensuring your ads are showing for 80 to 90% of the searches for you, because if you're not showing up, your competition is. The final big benefit we see from branded PPC campaigns is that when primarily older demographic customers search for your firm to get an update on their case, they end up getting their case sniped away from you when they land on your competition's website and make a call. So not only is the most cost-effective online marketing branded keywords, it also protects your firm from losing potentially big cases. Bucket number 4 is Longtail. These are the keywords that have to do with your vertical that are more complex and longer searches than any of the others. This is where instead of people searching for a car accident attorney, they may search for, I was in a car accident and I hurt my neck. What should I do? Searches that carry a similar intent, maybe, not as clearly, but achieve a similar outcome to what you're looking for. The benefit of these keywords is that the costs are dramatically lower than the competitive one. The con is, though, that while they're cheaper, they don't have as much search volume. So while these cases will be significantly more economical for your firm, the volume isn't easy. When investigating an ad account for a firm, when I don't see any long-tail keywords being targeted, I can almost guarantee that the funnel has a strong amount of low-hanging fruit in other areas, as these keywords are the sign of a good agency. So while the benefit with these keywords is better economics, it can't move in volume like the competitive keywords can. All right. Finally, we have bucket number 5, and this is a pretty big bucket. Bucket number 5 is what I like to call roundabout keywords. These aren't direct, high-intent competitive keywords like car accident attorney. These are keywords like totaled car tow service, where we're bidding on keywords that are associated with our industry, but not as direct. A big one in the PI vertical is things like case calculators. What they're looking for is associated with the people you serve, but the ad you present to them isn't going to be like the ad or landing page you created for the other keywords. Because of this, I call them roundabout, as they will need a different strategy almost altogether at the ad level. Not all of the keywords in this group will require a totally new ad strategy and assets, but most will. So you can see how this bucket can often be our largest bucket because there's so many keywords like this. And the strategies I see employed around this keyword are literally in 1 to 3% of ad accounts we dive in, which is a huge problem. When we see those keywords in firms' ad accounts, we then know that the marketing agency is making consistent efforts to drive better economics for the firm. When they're missing, this is a red flag for us because we know that this marketing agency is just doing the bare minimum to ensure that they're getting results for their clients. That was a lot. Again, while your ad, your descriptions, your landing pages, and little things like your domain name all play in to your PPC campaigns, those are not the ultimate strategies. Keywords and bidding strategies are where the okay advertisers become great advertisers. And arming law firms as to how their economics for PPC works based off what keywords they're bidding on is incredibly important to hold accountable the marketers you hire. So now that you understand a number of the strategies we use to make our clients money, I hope you're able to navigate not burning thousands of dollars and understanding what questions to ask marketers providing you these services. PPC still works, but it's not 2015. Want help fixing your PPC setup? Go to www.AdSurdly.com and schedule a call. We'll audit your account, show you what's broken, and map out an exact strategy that makes sense to start making you money. Let's stop wasting money. Let's start signing better cases. We'll see you on the next.